Hey there, I'm Shauna and welcome to Setting the Sun, a series of yoga classes, short yoga practices to do at bedtime. Okay, let's get started. So today we're working on the heart space, the shoulders, chest, upper back. Let's start with the hands at the heart. Just take some breaths. I like the hands stacked. Just use these opening moments to tune into your heart space, your emotional body. See what you're holding. Maybe some deep exhales and sigh the breath out the mouth. You can move your hands at any point, but if it's soothing, just think of the touch of your own hands as applying a little bit of tenderness. Let the emphasis be on your exhale. Okay, and then let's start to do just a little slow movement. So we're going to take we'll do a few shoulder stretches. So that's a good place to have your belt handy. Let's start interlacing the fingers, right hand on bottom, right baby finger on bottom. Sorry, flip the palms, press out through the hands. Inhale, take the arms up and get a reasonable stretch. Just see what's happening in your shoulder joint. Release your hands and bring your arms down into the cactus. And then squeeze the elbows towards one another. Let's give the self a hug, right hand under left. And just notice what you feel in the shoulder area. You can wrap the arms, come into Garudasana. Okay, and then go to release your right hand down to the bolster. Take your left arm up. This is where the belt might come in handy. Reach up, bend the elbow, and tuck your right hand back looking for the belt. Take some breaths. Notice what's happening in the abdomen and the hips. Just tuck your floating ribs in. Bring the head up and just keep the belt a little bit looser than you might normally, so that you're opening, you're stretching, you're kind of getting to the channels without overstimulating or triggering any places where you might have some irritation. And then let's let that go and change the cross of the legs. So whatever you didn't have it now. You can have the belt already on your right shoulder if that's easier for you. Interlace your fingers, maybe left baby finger on bottom, flip the palms, take the arms up, reaching up. Then exhale, elbows out into the cactus shape. Let's bring them in, tuck the left arm under the right, a little bit of a hug. Wrap the arms. Okay, and then right arm up, left arm down and back, bend at the elbows, look for the belt. Okay, super nice, release. And you can keep your belt handy. We're going to go into Setu Bandha or bridge pose with the bolster, and if possible with the wall. Nice to have a block for the feet. belt maybe for the thighs, and I'm going to suggest the blanket for the shoulders. And there's a couple different ways to work with the blanket. Let's go with the blanket, and it's wide, nice and smooth. Many of you doing this will know this practice. So you're set up so that your hips are kind of midway, and then you're lying back so that your chest is getting an opening, and straightening the legs, feet into the wall. Sometimes you're lucky, it all just lines up. Sometimes it takes a little bit of maneuvering around. If your feet are into the wall, you might not need a belt here, but the belt can help prevent some back irritation. So if you're using a belt, buckle it up, a little bit snug, and around the thighs so that it helps turn the thighs inward and excuse me, and then settle down. So when you come into this, it's best, especially if you're going into bedtime, but at any time, that you don't feel some irritations. So if you do, you might go with a higher support under your head, like roll out, put 2 blankets. It is important that the head is resting, that there's no compression in the neck. And today, we want to emphasize the open-heartedness. And then just absolutely rest. Let your focus be at the heart space. Even ahead of time, we could already use our meditation mantra, home. We're going to hold for just a little more than a minute, probably about a minute and a half today. But this is one of those poses, 5 minutes. Some of you might even love 10 minutes. It is a chest opener, but it is restorative, so it should not disturb your sleep. If it is irritating to the back, though, we don't want that. And so another simple solution is just to have the knees bent, feet on either side of the bolster, and have the knees lean into one another. Okay. To come out, bend your knees, bring your right hand by your head, and carefully fall off of the bolster. And then let's use the hands to lift up. And here's the opportunity for Vipriti Kroni. So hips could be on the bolster or even on a block. You could still use your belt if that's available, if that's suitable to you. Sit up so that you're able to get your hips onto the bolster. Ideally, hips against the wall, but if your hamstrings aren't happy with that, no problem. Thighs turn in, and the bolster coming up into kind of the kidney area. So a little bit of abdominal region, but also a little bit of a heart opener. I'm gonna do this one without the belt. Heels are centered though, thighs slightly turned in. And you want to feel, again, rested and stable. So if that's not happening, you can always substitute a foam block or a thick cork block. Lower height, higher height. So here we are in another restorative posture that you could easily stay in for 10, 12 minutes. We're going to come out a little bit sooner though. So actually the first step is to move yourself a little bit further away from the wall. And towards the front edge of the bolster. And then as you do that, let the sacrum be on the bolster, your tailbone off, bend your knees, and bring your knees in towards your chest. If this feels like too much pressure, then maybe you just need to either put a little more pressure into your hips or move the bolster back a little. So from here, sometimes happy baby is pretty accessible and pretty pleasant. So it can come into happy baby. And then either staying with happy baby or a nice variation is legs in Sukhasana, but I'm going to suggest Urdhva Mukha Paschimottanasana. So the hips release a little bit back to the bolster, but they're also lifted. Stretch out through the heels. You might, if you have a block available, you might like to have something under your head. And just thighs turn in. You can use your hands to just support the legs coming in. You can also reach around, find your belt, have the belt at the feet or some part of the legs to assist. Okay, and then bend the knees, bring your feet back to the wall. Let's lift and move the bolster out of the way, and then wiggle back a little bit. And here, oh look, my blanket's right there for my head. That's super convenient. We're going to do a bent knee twist. This time the knees come up nice and close to the chest. Lower the knees onto maybe the support of the bolster. Oh, of course the floor is welcome. Left outer hip coming up, and then turn your head to look towards your right. Inhale, bring your knees up, and let's lower the knees over to the left. And again, I'm going to recommend a little support. So the knees come up quite high. Rest onto the bolster. Arm open to the side and allow your head to turn. Okay, and then legs back to center. And roll onto one side. Use your hands to lift yourself up. Okay, so we're gonna work with alternate nostril breath, which is a breath that I think is best done upright. But if you wanted your meditation in a restorative posture, the one I'd suggest is Mountain Brook, which is a folded blanket for the neck, for the upper back, a support for the head, and then the bolster for the knees. So a very gentle restorative. So that's available for you for your meditation. As I say, for the pranayama, you might want to stay sitting up, and you could choose whatever your comfortable position. So alternate nostril breath, we'll use the thumb and the ring finger. It's a good one to check if the nostrils are open before bedtime. It's sometimes our blocked nostrils really affects our sleep. So definitely blow your nose if you need to. Then let's inhale through both. Actually, inhale and exhale through both. Then close off the left. Inhale through right. Close off right. Exhaling through left. Inhale left. Close that off. Exhale right. And you can just continue with this at your own pace. Let your breath be as natural as possible when we do this one today. From what I'm aware, the left side is the side that is most conducive to rest and relaxation. And so something to notice is if one of your nostrils is more clear, is it the right or is it the left? And let's let the exhale out the right be our last. Just sitting quietly for a moment. So, two little tips that I could have shown you before the pranayama are is if you find one side is a little more clouded, but a little more plugged, there's sinus points just under your cheeks. And sometimes massaging here, just right in that area there, can help to clear up a little bit of blockage. You want to put some pressure, but not too much. So just gentle but firm. And that could be held for actually about a minute, but even a few seconds sometimes is magical. The other one that's a little bit more tricky is you make a fist and you tuck it into your armpit and squeeze. And same thing, hold about, this one I'd hold about a minute, see how it goes. Kind of magical. And then the other side, and see if either of those happen. If not, whatever. Now we're going to tune into meditation. So if you wanted to lie down, you can switch, or just continuing to sit, tuning into your breath. You might bring your hands back to this heart space. Going back to our anchoring word, home. If the arms get tired, you want to rest your hands. As always, feel free to continue this meditation if it's working for you and you have the time. Otherwise, when you're ready to close, or join me now and just taking for a moment to consider a moment of kindness, whether that kindness was received or that was an act that you were kind to another. Also, any moment from your day that you feel gratitude for, that touched your heart. And take that with you into your sleep world. Namaste. Thank you so much. Sleep well. See you tomorrow.